Welcome back, Umineko 23. We're still sitting here in Kinzo's room, uh, talking about love, and that's what Umineko is at its core. I now realize it's a love story. Umineko is romance first, everything else second. It's all about the love between that handsome Kinzo and the woman of his life, Beatrice. It's beautiful, really. Let's see what else we can learn about this love story.
それではお母様の立つ瀬がありません。
同感だぜ。浮気は浮気。綺麗事にされちゃかなわねえよな。
それもそうだな。ばあ様が気の毒になっちまうぜ。
Yeah, I mean, the grandmother was probably forced into the, whole arranged marriage just as much as Kinzo was. She didn't have any say in it either, so it's a really sad situation for her. That they couldn't have just made it work somehow.
それでベアトリーチェとおじい様の間に子供がいたなんて話はある？
The keyword Beatrice had been hidden in every corner of this case, so it's natural to suspect that some relatives of her. Is to suspect some relative of her. Oh, I see what you're saying.
そのような話は聞いたことがありません。
仮にいたとしたら最愛の人の忘れがたみとしてきっと全ての愛情を注ぎ込んだだろうね。
Now I suddenly feel like, oh, what if someone we know is a Kinzo Beatrice child? That would be weird. Like Canon or Shannon or something. Someone we don't know about the past of. Well, I guess they'd be a little too young to be that child. It'd have to be an adult. But yeah, maybe no one fits the bill. Unless one of the siblings is secretly Beatrice's child. Oh my god, twists. Don't think so.
それがなく黒魔術に没頭していったなら子供はいなかったと考えるべきなのかな。
そういえばこんな噂を聞いたことがあるぜ。知ってるだろ？じい様が福音の家っていう孤児院に莫大な援助をしてるって話。
Is that where the servants come from?
よしなさい。
Oh.
それはお父様を冒涜する中傷に過ぎません。
Okay.
教えてくれよ、夏日おばさん。隠し事はなしなのはおばさんもだと思うっすよ。
くだらない話です。
She gave in real quick when she was like, "Shut up, Jessica." Battler's like, "Tell us." He's like, "All right."
お父様はその施設に莫大な援助をし、社会勉強の一環として当家の使用人雇用枠を開放していました。
Right. Okay, that is where the servants come from.
それをお父様に汚らわしい趣味があると吹聴する愚か者がいたというだけの話です。
一時期それが黒魔術の生贄にするためだみたいな噂になってさ。実際いつもこの部屋で怪しげな実験や儀式を繰り返してたわけで、私も半分は信じてたところがあったぜ。
その福音の家出身の使用人ってのは？
何人かいますが、
Right.
親族会議中のシフトではシャノンとカノンの2人でした。
To resurrect Beatrice, he brought in servants from an orphanage as human sacrifices.
確かにじいさまが使用人として選ぶのはいつもシャノンやカノン君くらいの若い子ばかり。私だってじいさまには妙な趣味があるに違いないって
I
信
mean,
じ
that's
て
more
たぜ。
than a hobby. That's like a sinister plot.
ジェシカ、言葉を慎みなさい。
When Natsuhi scolded her, the atmosphere instantly went sour, and everyone fell quiet. However, something was tugging at the back of my mind. Sacrifices. Sacrifices. Human sacrifices brought over from an orphanage. Are you finally thinking about the epitaph? Huh? What is it? Freaky words like sacrifices don't pop up often. Yes, Battler, you've seen it before. Where could it be? And yet I've seen or heard that word recently. Yes. Some part of my memory is tugging at me. Think. Hey, Beatrice. What do you know? I had arrived in front of the portrait of Beatrice. It wasn't as massive as the one in the entrance hall, but that portrait, which must have been drawn by some famous painter, was still just as intimidating in this smaller size. Below it, just like in the entrance hall, was the epitaph that supposedly hinted at the location of the hidden gold. Oh, that's nice that the epitaph is at both portraits. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
なんだよバトラ。
Oh, you can see the epitaph there. On the table. There you go.
急に気持ち悪いこと言うなよ。
Nazi's talking about slander, but what's she gonna think when they make this connection? Alright, here we go. Here we go. This is what I was waiting for. Someone to put it together. Both of my eyes were white as plates. Everything's been predicted right there from the very beginning. Ooh. Everyone crowded around, and the same expression of shock rose to all of our faces. That's right. It's right there in the epitaph. On the first twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. Okay, here we go.
最初に死んだのは6人だ。そしてシャッターに書かれた魔法陣じゃねえ、ヘブライ語でも生贄を捧げると書いてあった。
おお、私は最初からそう言ってる。
That's right, Maria said it right at the start. Right after we found the 6 bodies, when Maria was in the parlor watching TV, she said it. Ooh, the culprit isn't human. It's just the sacrifices chosen by the key.
これは黄金の隠し場所なんかじゃねえ。黒魔術か何かの復活の儀式の手順なんだ。
Isn't it both? Because it does mention the gold in the epitaph, right? All the gold from the golden land, right? It's one of the treasures the witch bestows upon you. All the gold, resurrect everyone, resurrect the love that was lost, and put the witch to sleep for all time.
確かこの碑文には大勢の死が必要になるはず。
Yeah, it does.
確かにざっと読むだけでも6たす2たす5で13人は死ななくちゃならないことになってるぜ。
普段はこの島には何人いるんですか？
18.
使用人のシフトにもよるでしょうが。
Oh, okay,
お
on
父
a
様
normal,
夫に
not during family
私に
conference.
ジェシカ、そして使用人が2、3人。昨日今日は5人いてもらってますが、普段はそこまでいません。
ってことはだ、この儀式を実行しようとしたら普段じゃ生贄が足らないってわけだ。いや、じい様は福音の家から 不気味な儀式の生贄にするために使用人を取ったという噂。
つまりなんだよ、生贄の人数を増やすために使用人を増やし、さらに人数が集まる年に一度の親族会議を、この儀式を執り行える年にたった一度、唯一のタイミングだったってことじゃねえか。
When Jessica screamed this, Maria broke out in that creepy laugh, looking truly pleased.
人は運気を試すためにある種の確率に願掛けをすることがない？
Like throwing a sandal and saying that if it lands right side up, tomorrow will be sunny, or saying that tomorrow will be a good day if a coin lands heads up. There are many little superstitions like that. Sometimes when your luck is down and you get bored, and you roll the dice and get 3 6s, you want to believe it's a portent of some miracle. When flipping a sandal, you have at worst a 50% chance. Even if you get it right side up, it's not worth much. But if you carelessly roll 3 dice and they all come up 6, you might think that's a small miracle.
魔術にもそういう考えはあるんだよ。限りなくありえない出目を期待してひたすらに祈祷を続ける。そうして蓄えられた祈祷の念は奇跡の出目が現れた時、魔力をもって具現化される。おじいさまがしようとした魔術は、多分そういうもの。鍵が無作為に選ぶ生贄の抽選。
The key. Right.
それに万が一自分が当たることがないように、この島に最も人が多くなる日を選んで儀式を実行した。
This is the first time they're referring to it like as a lottery instead of a roulette. I thought they were like specifically referring it to a roulette for a reason. I mean, like I related the 18 people being exactly half the number on a roulette board. But maybe they were just using the term roulette in place of lottery, like as just another word to use for a random selection.
バカバカしい。これらが全て怪しげな魔法の儀式の過程で起こった事件だと言い出すのですか。
Maria has been saying that, yeah. Natsuhi yelled. She couldn't quell the fear that a scorpion charm might be the only reason she was still safe. If I hadn't received that charm from Jessica and hung it from my doorknob, would I have been killed, mixed in along with those 6? And the strangest part is, even though I hung the charm from the inside of my door, they couldn't get through that door. The culprit noticed the charm from outside the door and gave up trying to open it. Yeah, that's something. It wasn't just someone like following the rules, pretending to be witch-like. They somehow knew the charm was inside. A human couldn't have perceived that. A charm meant to stop something that was not human had done exactly that. Impossible, impossible, impossible.
だが夏日さん、確かに碑文の内容はその後もなぞっとる。
第二の晩に
Yeah?
残されし者は寄り添う二人を引き裂け。これはエヴァ様たちのことを指しているのでしょうか。
Before we get to the future murders, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing any, because we've had Kanon and Kinzo die after. Am I missing someone? No. It was just Kanon and Kinzo. Yeah. We have had Kanon and Kinzo die after Second Twilight, and I just wanted to make sure I wasn't, like, not attributing Kanon or Kinzo to this like, Kinzo being the head of the family, obviously, I would think, gouge the head and kill, not literally a head, but the head of the Yoshida family. But that would make canon Third Twilight, those who remain shall praise my noble name. He did shout Beatrice as he, was screaming in the basement. Like, that was like his last word, was when he's shouting Beatrice, or close to it. But the letter also says praise my noble name. So it almost seems like we haven't hit Third Twilight yet. Alright, so it's either the case where canon is Third Twilight and it has something to do with him screaming Beatrice, maybe? I don't know. And Kinzo is the head of the family and was killed Fourth Twilight. Although I thought Twilight would be each night, so that also is a little confusing to me. Or we still are on Second Twilight. Twilight is each night, and we haven't actually hit Third yet. We'll see if the characters try to attribute Canon's death and Kinzo's death to anything on the epitaph.
Soだと判断せざるを得ない。そして母さんたちを殺した犯人は続く第三の晩の言葉を手紙に書き、その場に残したんだからね。
Right.
そうだな。第二の晩を実行し、第三の晩をその場に残した。第三の晩はまさにさっき夏日おばさんが読んだ通りだぜ。
Oh, wait, hold on. I just had a thought. If praise my noble name was the letter left, Kinzo technically died before Canon because Canon got carried away. And Canon got hit in the chest, right? He did. Oh, okay. Alright, I'm glad I figured that out before they said it, because I assume they're about to say it. I'm glad I figured it out just before then. So we have the main six. We have Natsuhi and Hideyoshi. Then we have the letter left at the floor of the crime scene. Then we have Kinzo, the head, who also had, a stake in his head, but he's the head of the family. I don't know which one they mean. And then Canon got a spike to the chest. So now we're waiting on stomach, knee, and then leg. Out of the 8 remaining, 3 more must die. Assuming I have this right. It seems like it fits pretty well. I had completely mixed up that Kinzo had died before Canon, technically. And that's, I think, where my confusion came from, because I kept trying to attribute Canon to something before Kinzo. Okay. Alright. On the third twilight, those who remain shall praise my noble name. If you read it this way, it just keeps going on, doesn't it? On the fourth twilight, gouge the head and kill. Gouge the head and kill. George Anaki's parents were killed with those demon ice picks gouged to their heads. Oh. What? Wasn't... He had an ice pick sticking out of his forehead. Of course, he was burned too, but... Alright, I was attributing head to Kinzo. Oh, maybe... Okay. I should have just clicked. But if they were the second Twilight, someone else must have been gouged in the head.
じい様だ。
Yes, sir.
焼却炉の中で焼かれてたから、そっちに目が行っちまって気づかなかったが、じい様も眉間に、いや、頭をえぐられてた。
じい様が第四の晩の犠牲者。じゃあカノン君は。
Yep.
第五の晩に胸をえぐりて殺せ。
For some reason, I had it in my head that each Twilight was going to be a new night. Especially because the first and second Twilight were each two separate nighttime events. Separated by a day, so...
カノン君については犯人との突発的な遭遇による犯行だと思ってたけど、違う。
It's all planned.
誰か一人をおびき出し、
Yep.
胸を貫くことを初めから狙っていたんだ。
The
もし犯人がこれをなぞっているとしたなら、
the door closing sound in the basement was just to get someone to run down there.
また3人が死ななければならないというのですか？
Yes, it does. On the sixth Twilight, gouged the stomach and kill. On the seventh Twilight, gouged the knee and kill. On the eighth Twilight, gouged the leg and kill. Someone's gonna die from a knee injury?
確かにそう読み取れますけど。
Or does gouge the body part just say where the spike has to go? And then they can die by other means, maybe.
いや、そいつはどうかな。あと3人が死ねば第9の番になる。
And the witch comes. On the ninth Twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive. Does that mean everyone else dies?
私たちはベアトリーチェにみんな。
わけがわかんねえ。結局何人いようが最後には全員死ぬってことじゃねえか。じい様は何が目的だったんだ。この儀式じゃじい様自身何をどうしたって生き残れねえじゃないか。
誰も生き残れなくていいんだよ。第10の晩には黄金鏡にたどり着く。
On the 10th Twilight at Journey's End, you shall attain to the power of the Golden Land's treasures, once and for the last time. The witch shall praise the wise and bestow 4 treasures.
おじい様は死を恐れてなんかいなかったんだよ。ほら、4つの宝の2番と3番を見てごらんよ。
一つは全ての死者の魂を蘇らせ。
See, so we're all gonna be fine.
一つは失った愛すらも蘇らせる。つまりおじい様は自分がこの儀式の途中で死んでしまってもやがては復活できると信じてた。
You know what the craziest part is? I thought this was going to be something that happened over the course of like several episodes, maybe even the whole game. Like this is basically like spelling out the plan for the whole game or something. But this seems like it is episode 1's plan. And we might move through these pretty fast or something. Like I could see Beatrice arriving like right at the end of the episode or something. Which is crazy that this was just like an episode 1 thing.
バカバカしいぜ。もう死んだらそれまでだろ。死者は生き返らない。人類が何千年もかけて追い求め、結局は未だに成し遂げられない奇跡だぜ。つまりこういうことだろ。死後の世界で再会できて蘇ることができるとか、そういう類だろ。
ジェシカの言い分通りだとするなら、追い先短いじい様が恋に狂っての自殺まがい。いや、壮大な無理心中ってことなのか。
I mean, it's not a forced suicide. It's more like a murder and massive... It's a murder-suicide where you murder lots of people.
その可能性は考えられるのですか？
Oh yeah, Genji and Canon fully believed in it.
わかりません。
Oh, okay, well, I say fully believed in it, but it's more like what we were just talking about last episode.
親方様は時に千年の未来を見越されるほどの聡明なお方です。
But it's more that they chose to believe in it out of respect and love for Kinzo.
しかし、凡庸な私にはそれが狂気としか映らないこともあります。
それってイエスって意味だよな。熊沢さんはどうなんだよ。
Everyone's going to panic mode, man.
私は何も知りません。知りませんとも。
That's a little suspicious the way you just said that.
知っていたなら今日この島にいると思いますか？仮病でも何でも使ってお休みしていますよ。
I don't know.
おじい様の長年の友人である南條先生のご意見は？
源氏さんに同じです。金蔵さんは凡人をはるかに超越した方だった。そこにある種の人間離れした力すらも感じることはありました。私にも金蔵さんが何を考えてこの碑文を残されたのかわからない。
一つだけ言えるのは、仮にこの筋書きを作ったのがお父様であっても実行しているのは別の人間だということです。
確かに少なくともじい様とカノン君を襲った犯人は他にいる。
I don't know who the key is that chooses the sacrifices. But I guess the question is this just like a supernatural thing being done by like the presence of Beatrice? I mean, we saw the butterflies right when Canon died. Or do they actually have someone else carrying out the murders to revive Beatrice? Well, okay, this is right back to the 18th, 19th person dilemma that we've been talking about for, hours and hours.
しかもそいつはこの碑文通りまだ事件を続けようとしている。
僕たちが深く考えなかった最初の手紙、あれにはなんて書いてあっただろう。
We thought back to the recitation of the letter last night. Beatrice had proclaimed something inside it. She had proclaimed that, according to her contract with Kinzo, she would collect everything of the Yoshida family as interest. But then she had also revealed a special clause. If someone discovered the location of the gold grandfather had hidden, that right would be lost. When the letter was read, grandfather was still alive. So let me just read that one more time. I guess the question is, when does this collection happen? According to the timeline of the epitaph, the witch will be revived. I guess I don't understand the letter in regards to the epitaph. Everyone's gonna die. Then they're given the gold from the Golden Land and resurrected. But the letter says you have to find the gold or else Beatrice collects everything the Yoshida family owns, probably including the people. So, when are they supposed to find the gold? What is their deadline? And why does it say that they're being bestowed the gold, even though they're supposed to find it? Not sure how that lines up. I'd have to think about it some more. When the letter was read, Grandfather was still alive. But at that time, it had already been sealed with wax by the head's ring, which meant Grandfather had handed the ring over to Beatrice while he was still alive. If we take a straightforward approach, maybe we should assume Beatrice is carrying out that strange contract, with Grandfather guaranteeing her that right. In other words, this was the same as saying Grandfather knew of and approved of the contents of that letter. In other words, it's basically a joint message from Beatrice and Grandfather, telling us that Beatrice will start collecting interest if we don't solve the riddle. Right. Right, because the epitaph is a riddle. Okay. Right. The riddle of the epitaph is how you find the gold. And maybe this is assuming that the gold has been found and the riddle has been solved. This final page. Maybe. Okay. In other words, Grandfather and Beatrice were demanding that we try and solve the riddle of the epitaph. And if we couldn't, they were saying that the massacre would be carried out according to the epitaph. Okay. So the epitaph is both the consequences of not solving the riddle, and it's the riddle itself. Which is kind of weird to wrap your head around, I guess. What does that mean? What do they want? I don't have a clue what it means. Oh?
What?
Has the messenger been holding on to multiple letters? Maria was pointing at the top of the table where the canned food everyone had been eating just now still lay. A Western envelope from Beatrice certainly was sitting there, but so what? Those fucking sound effects, man. Aunt Natsuhi let out a hysterical cry, looking between her own hand and the table, because the envelope she had just opened was still grasped in her hand. So why is there still an envelope on the table? Magic, son. It's just a little present from Beatrice. That was the most unenthusiastic. Why is Chio being so... like, why is Kumasawa being so, like, suspicious in the way she's denying everything? Like, the way she says things makes it seem like she's lying, when she could be saying things in a much more, like, natural way. It's coming out unnatural. Maybe Maria just took it out of her bag and laid it there when no one was looking. I mean, I'm sure Maria wasn't too worried about looking at the epitaph. She probably has it in her head by heart. Oh. The talking in this track is so weird. I was just trying to listen to it, but I guess it's done now. Natsuhi, we have escalated very quickly. Sorry, I'm just listening to this music right now. Oh man. Okay, sorry. I'll read. I was entranced by the music, the new track or whatever. Oh, whoops! I minimized it somehow. Back there. Okay. Whoa! What the heck? All right. She doesn't trust anyone, I guess. She thinks someone put it there, and Natsuhi was pointing the rifle at Genji and the others, bellowing at them. Genji-san was overpowered, his face looking like he didn't have a clue what was going on. Of course, I felt the same, but a few moments late, I reached the same conclusion Aunt Natsuhi had. Until just a few seconds ago, there had been no letter like this on the table, and nobody entered this room. That means someone among us placed it there, during the few seconds when everyone was looking away, preoccupied with the portrait. She trusts Battler, because he was the one probably right in front of the epitaph. I picked it up. It was still sealed with wax. Even without disturbing its contents, I realized that this was an as-yet unopened envelope, an unknown envelope. Without relying on a paper knife, I tore it open and pulled out the letter inside. The contents were as follows.
金蔵様の碑文の謎をお楽しみいただいているでしょうか。すでにご存知と思いますが、皆様方には時間が多くは残されてはおりません。
Is this Beatrice's voice actor?
どうか嵐が過ぎ去れば逃げ出すことができるという甘えをお捨てくださいませ。
Yeah.
このゲームには私と皆様方のどちらが勝つかの結果しかない。
Oh man.
時間切れは私の勝ちとなる。引き分けはありません。そこをどうか誤解なきようお願い申し上げます。
We're on a time limit.
って内容だぜ。
この手紙を誰が置いたかは明白ではありません。ですが疑わしき人物を絞ることはできました。
Okay.
あなたたちです。
Sorry, the talking started at the start of the song again. I don't know if you're even meant to be able to hear any of the words, or if it's even in English. I have no idea. It's you all. Alright, who's she talking about?
奥様、それはあんまりにございます。
Kumasawa, you're kind of suspicious.
私は肖像画の前に行く直前、ここに缶詰を置きました。その時、このような怪しげな手紙は決して置かれていなかったことを確認しています。そしてその時、すでにジェシカとジョージ君、バトラ君は肖像画の前にいた。
Alright, so all the adults.
そして彼らはこの手紙が現れるまで肖像画の前を離れていない。
She didn't say Maria, and Maria's a big suspect too.
つまり、あなたたち4人の中にその手紙を置いた人物がいる。
Oops. Oh man, I keep minimizing the game. Jeez. Ah! What happened to my... What happened to my... tree? Okay, sorry, I just wanted to think... when she says 4, she means Nanjo, Kumasawa, Genji, and Maria. So she is pointing the gun at Maria, which makes sense.
ベアトリーチェがいる。
おお、ベアトリーチェはマリアたちじゃない。ベアトリーチェはいる
お黙りなさい。あなたたちの中の一人が疑わしいのか、全員が疑わしいのか分かりません。しかし、確実にあなたたちの中に犯人が混じっている。
I don't know about the culprit, but I could definitely believe one of them's working you know, since one of them is, you know, working with the whole Beatrice plot. I don't know how one of them would have been able to commit the murders, you know. Maybe Genji? No, I don't know.
19人目なんかいるわけがない。魔女なんかいるわけがないんだ。カノン君を殺したのだって。そうさ。熊沢さんなら説明できるよ。
Well, we know Kumasawa wasn't.
熊沢さんは本当はカノン君と一緒にボイラー室に入り殺したんだ。
Alright.
そして後から来たらもう倒れていたと嘘をついた。
No.
誤解ですお嬢様。私がなぜそのようなことを。
母さんたちをどうやってあの密室で殺したのかは見当もつかない。でも母さんたちが殺された時、使用人の人たち以外の全員にはアリバイがあった。
But he doesn't understand. It is in English. I caught like a sentence of the background music words.
なかったのは使用人の人たちだけ。でも本当に疑ってもいいんだろうか。
確かにそれを言い出したら全ての件でアリバイはないが。
Oh, they're the only ones without alibis for all three? 4? 3. Should we really be so quick to make that judgment? But this time, in this room, in this place, in this moment, in this minimally small bit of time and space, it's obvious. Only one of the 4 of them could have set the letter there in our blind spot. We can't tell who put it there, but it's obvious that one of the 4 did it. I mean, there's always a chance. I mean, like I said, if Maria is the messenger, maybe she was given multiple letters and told, you know, do this with this letter later or something. I don't know.
どうか落ち着きなさい。今日一日いろいろなことがあった。心が参っているのはよくわかります。
南條先生をお疑い申し上げるのは非常に心苦しいです。ですが、お父様の主治医として唯一無二の親友として長くお父様と共にあられた。
Yeah.
ビアトリーチェのことも知っているかもしれない。何かの古いしがらみを知っていて隠しているのではありませんか？
そんなはずはない。落ち着きなさい。
It was pitiful to watch Dr. Nanjo frantically pleading his innocence. It was probably a normal reaction that anyone would give if they were suspected. Kumasawa was the same. Ever since Jessica voiced her suspicions of Kumasawa murdering Cannon, Kumasawa had been totally flustered. I have a thought right now. I really hope this conflict doesn't bring about a stomach wound, a knee wound, and a leg wound. Like, what if things just get crazy and out of control and they fulfill the epitaph on their own, on accident, without meaning to? Like, Natsuki shoots someone in the stomach, and, I mean, that's what I'm worried is going to happen here. They're going to fulfill these 3 obligations on their own. Often the sign of a delusional mind. Trying to attack, but he doesn't understand. You can just pick up like half of the words that are said at the song. I don't know why I'm focusing on it so much. It's probably not important at all. That was why Genji's still calm appearance looked so bold. On Natsuhi pointed the barrel of the gun.
Genji, あなたはお父様の一番の部下です。ベアトリーチェとはあなたがお父様に見せた幻想だ。あなたこそがその実行者だったのではないのですか？
そうお疑いいただけるのは、奥様が私を親方様の一番のしもべだとお認めいただけたということ。このような場ではありますが。
Really? Now is not the time for that.
しかし、この手紙を置いたのは私ではありません。
それを私が鵜呑みにできると思いますか？お前が首謀者に決まっています。あるいは熊沢も南條先生もその共犯かもしれない。マリアちゃんもです。
Yeah, I mean, not content to suspect just the adults on Natsuhi pointed the gun relentlessly at Maria too. I mean, she's the most obvious suspect out of everyone with everything she's been saying over the past day. But Maria acted as though nothing had happened. Or maybe she thought she would be fine even if she was shot.
マリアちゃん、今この場ではもう幼いから疑いの枠から外すという段階にない。だから誰もが昨夜からずっと持ってきた疑問をもう一度ぶつけさせてもらいます。
You can say who is Beatrice?
昨日バラ庭園であなたに手紙を渡したベアトリーチェは誰です？
Oh my god. 100th time we're getting asked this.
マリア、ごまかすんじゃねえぜ。この際はっきりさせろ。お前に手紙を渡したのは誰なんだよ。
Uh-huh.
だから何度も言ってるよ。
Same answer every time.
ベアトリーチェ
What a
は
surprise.
1000年を生きる黄金の魔女なんだよ。姿を知りたければ後ろを振り返ればいい。
What? Oh, the portrait.
ほら、そこにいるよ。ベアトリーチェが。
バカにしてんのかてめえ。
よせジェシカ、マリアもよせ。状況が分かってんのか。そんなこと言って何になるってんだ。無意味な挑発はよしやがるってんだ。
マリアには分かんないよ。バトラたちは誰が犯人ならいいの？自分たちの中に犯人がいると信じたくない時だけベアトリーチェを信じて、親しい人を殺された恨みを晴らしたい時だけ暴力をぶつけられる人間の犯人を信じたがってベアトリーチェを否定する。
Yeah, I mean, they go back and forth.
だから見えないんだよ。
I mean, that's been a topic of conversation throughout a lot of these episodes.
ベアトリーチェはいる。
Where the blame goes and blaming something you can't see because it's easier.
お前たちには見えない。
黙りなさい。あなたが犯人だと決めつけたくはありませんが、この状況を不愉快にさせて楽しんでいる利的行為者であることはもはや疑いの余地もありません。
Can I just say this is one of like the fastest moving episodes I've ever recorded. Like I look over and it's like 50 minutes in. Like this episode is flying by. This is like one of my favorite scenes so far in the game. This whole thing, this whole confrontation is crazy.
ならどうするの？マリアを撃つ？別にいいよ。
Yeah, we know you
もう
don't
すぐ
mind.
黄金鏡の扉が開かれる。そして全ての死者がよみがえる。今や死は恐れるべきことではないんだよ。
母さん、やっぱりこいつは怪しいよ。一緒になんかいられないよ。
でも夏日おばさん、どうか落ち着いて。 マリアちゃんを撃つ理由は何もない。どうか冷静に。手紙は挑発するけど何も恐れることはない。
Jessica's really like advocating for Maria to just be shot. Like yesterday she was just your 9-year-old cousin that you were happy to see and she was a kid, and now 24 hours later, shoot her, Mom, shoot her. It's crazy.
犯人だって明日が怖いんだ。警察が怖いんだ。この島は今無秩序に支配されているけれど、それは台風で隔離されているからだけに過ぎない。台風が過ぎれば秩序が戻ってくる。
Are they not afraid about the typhoon ending and the police coming because they know that everyone's gonna die tonight? Like, they know those last 3 are gonna be fulfilled. Maybe, I don't know.
だからおばさん、撃っちゃいけない。
なんでジョージ兄さんはそんなにも冷静なんだよ。
How can you be against shooting our 9-year-old cousin, George?
この4人の中に犯人がいる。
I get why she's scared. It was just when she was like, we can't keep Maria around that one line. I was like, whoa, Jessica.
いや、あるいは4人が全員来るかもしれない。この中にエヴァおばさんたちを殺した犯人がいるかもしれないってのに、なんでそんなに冷静なんだよ。
Yeah.
僕だって犯人を見つけて殺してやりたい気持ちはあるさ。でもそれは単なる蛮行だ。僕は罪の裁きを秩序に任せる。だからどんなに疑わしくても引き金を引いてはいけないんだ。
Where it's gonna happen though?
ジョージの兄貴に同じだ。夏日おばさん、ここはちょいと冷静になろうぜ。とにかく撃つのはまずいぜ。こういう時はよ、頭を後ろに反らしてクールになるって3回唱えるといいらしいぜ。
クール。
はっきりさせておきます。魔女などいない。ここは六軒島で、ここは後宮家の本家屋敷です。後宮家代表、後宮夏日として宣言します。
I am so glad Natsuhi took such like a forefront role in this episode, in this whole like conflict, because I've really liked her from the beginning. It's awesome that she became like just that she's taken on this kind of a role is just a lot of fun.
ここには魔女などいない。ベアトリーチェなど認めない。
I think you're gonna have to accept her sooner or later.
何を企もうとも娘たちには指一本触れさせない。それが母としての、当家代表としての務めです。
Those words were the final words of farewell that settled everything. To protect her daughter, Aunt Natsuhi would regard any suspicious person as an enemy. The only reason George Aniki and I were standing on this side was because by coincidence we had a clear alibi regarding the letter. If I hadn't approached the portrait, I would also be at the other end of that gun barrel, treated like a criminal. But even though part of me thought that, part of me was thinking that chasing all the suspicious people from this room would finally guarantee our safety. Genji-san and Kumasawa-san and Dr. Nanjo, all of them were on grandfather's side. Maybe you could say that once Maria started blindly believing in Beatrice, she was also on grandfather's side. That's right, they were all suspicious. But is this really okay? If we throw out all of the suspicious ones in such a lawless way, will we still have the right to defy the lawlessness of the witch? What's happening? Oh, if you do a long cut, I'm gonna have to end the episode. No. That's a stopping point if I ever saw one. God damn it. What a scene. Oh, that was great. I was so into that for like the entire half an hour that was going on. I was like, oh, I could not take my eyes off the screen. That was so good. Wow. Probably my favorite episode I've recorded so far. I'd have to say. Yeah, probably so. Man. Top notch is on the voice acting too. And the music was. That new track was a lot of fun. No idea what they were saying. I caught a few sentences, but it might even be gibberish for all I know. All right. I need to take a few minutes to calm down and recoup after all that, and then I'm going to start the next episode. All right. Well, thank you for watching that roller coaster of a scene with me, and we'll see what happens as far as the next 3 deaths are concerned. All right. Can't wait to get to the next one. I will see you guys next time. And have a good one. Goodbye.